Well, the first half was a lot of fun. The second half became pretty painful at times, but huge night from LaRon. That was our game plan. Going into this was to really try to exploit and get him the ball, get him a lot of touches. I think LaRon's game, everybody got to see how it is expanded in terms of handling the ball. He shot a couple off the dribble today. He had a couple threes. We're really pleased with the way he played. And then I thought Kipper early gave us a tremendous lift. I thought he was very aggressive at both ends of the court, and it was a big help. It was a big help seeing him aggressive like that, and then to persevere through a 16-4 run to start the second half. They played zone. We got defensive. We got on our heels. We got a little cautious. We weren't very clean running things, but we kind of got Boog established on the ball, and or on the block, excuse me. Got a couple easy baskets, and then late it was nice to execute, and for the most part step up and make free throws, and be able to put the game away.
Mark?
I was just curious your reaction to, I believe your guards had 17 rebounds in the game today, which is one thing you've talked about, getting more rebounds from some of those guys. They rebounded the ball well.
Well, Michael Finke in the last game, I think, had a double-double. And we knew without Mike, that we felt like that was something we could do. We had 18 offensive rebounds, I believe, in the last game. There weren't many to get in the first half, but we've got to have that continued support from our wings. And AJ, to be very honest, we all know he can make a three on most nights, but the one thing he does is rebound the basketball. We've been challenging Mark Smith with that. Mark got a huge one. Rebound real late in the game. He got in there and fought. He had 2 offensive rebounds, and the loose ball late was because of him that went our way on the review. So those guys have been very good, and then Tijon's always got kind of a knack of digging down in there and coming up with rebounds.
Well, you mentioned executing and hitting free throws down the stretch. I mean, that's been an issue. Maybe it has cost you. Well, I mean, yeah, maybe it has cost you games.
Oh, it has.
What difference did you see where you were on the right side of that today?
I think that it's pride for them. I think we practice them. I think that you're not going to make every one. Over the course of time. I think Trent being in a situation where he's failed, now he knows what that feels like, and I think he's concentrated enough and worked enough on him to know that now he's got some confidence. He steps up there. He's going to make them, and we didn't shy away from it. We ran the inbounds play to get the ball to him, and knew that they were going to foul him. And when you're a really good player, you want the ball in those situations, and he wanted it.
Brad, what did you like most out of Mark Smith's game tonight, and what do you think this can do for him?
Well, I really challenged Mark in a timeout. There's Mark's a good player, and I may believe in him sometimes more than maybe he believes in himself. And he's had good practices. He's worked hard. I ran a play to him against the zone to drive it, and it's a play we've practiced many, many times. And to be honest, Mark didn't drive it. He played passively. He played, I don't know if afraid is the right word. And I got on him. I got on him good in a timeout, and I believe in him a lot. And I said, now you're gonna make the shot because you're gonna get a wide open shot. And he said, yeah. And he jumped up and made it. And but then to fight on the glass, and we've been always looking for more from Mark in terms of not just making baskets. The game's a lot more than that. It's about doing a lot of the other things, rebounding. Now he has 3 tonight. I believe Mark's going to have a terrific end of the season because he's practiced good. and see that thing go in can help. And so I'm pleased with him because he had some oomph, whatever the word is, or oomph to know that I got on him and I challenged him, and it's time to beat that guy, and he stepped up and did that.
When you guys were struggling in the second half against the zone, it seemed like Tijon was really the catalyst of the offense to try and get you guys going. Just what do you think overall of his performance tonight?
Well, he was aggressive driving the ball, which we got back on our heels, and whenever we get in trouble, we get passive, and we get slow. The ball doesn't move, the ball doesn't pop. Our movements become really slow, insert Tijon, and Tijon starts driving the thing. I think he got a layup right down the middle. Started popping it a little bit, and then it sucked the defense in, and they had to account for him, and gave us an opportunity to do a few things. And then LaRon finally figuring out, hey, get the ball to LaRon was a pretty good option as well.
Coach, right here, what do you think of that fumble in the second half where the ball just kind of
That was a game.
everywhere?
That's me. That's me. You talk about having pride. You talk about feeling good. You talk about that's everything we have to be about. That wasn't one guy on the floor. That wasn't two guys on the floor. That was 3, 4 guys on the floor, all fighting to win a game. Didn't care about a little burn on the floor from the floor. Didn't care about getting knocked. You haven't seen that often. At least I haven't. And that's tonight. I knew we were in great shape when we were to that point, because then it's selfless. Then we're playing to win. That was awesome. Play of the night, in my opinion. Shot clock was running down, I think, or is that the one? I think the shot clock was running down. He kind of had to cast it up to avoid the clock. So his awareness on that was pretty good.
Scott. I mean, as efficient as you were offensively in the first half, I mean, a lot of that was LaRon and Kipper, but when that another scoring drought, hit to start the second, I mean, where's your thought process of that, just when it's so completely different from first half to second half?
Well, it shows what a good coach Tim is. He wasn't going to sit back and let us just keep funneling the ball to LaRon, and yet they did a good job of mixing up their zones between the 1-3-1 and the 2-3. And once we established LaRon back in there, and again Tijon started driving it, I was just trying to get us to play aggressive, because Trent was playing 5-6 feet off the top of the key where he couldn't shoot it from there. Nobody was getting into the gaps of the zone, and every time we threw the ball into LaRon, they just swarmed him in the elbows, and LaRon's pretty effective in there. So, it was just about being aggressive.
What were your thoughts when Matisse got a dunk?
Good for him. We executed the out-of-bounds play right. That was, Matisse is going to be a really good player, and for him to have that moment and for him to execute the play. Because we had 2 options, him or Kipper on the backside of it, and they botched the coverage. And it's I'm happy for him because he's a real athletic kid. He's quick twitch, and good for him.
Played more zone, against Nebraska than you have against other teams, but you did the same the first time. Is that just more a matchup thing against them, or
maybe
was it?
Maybe. Part of it, Palmer's one of the best players in our league, if not one of the best wings. Maybe he is. He's got 200-plus free throw attempts, and we don't have tremendous size on the wings to guard him, and keeping him off the line was something that I was really concerned about. Then you're on the road, jumping up, making jump shots, making threes, and then. It became a little more of a factor with LaRon picking up 2. But I thought it was effective. I thought our man was effective. I thought the first 8 minutes of the game we were really good in the man. But Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt we're going to have to continue to play some, and you know, especially try to protect, you know, our front court guys. Without Michael, we're pretty thin.
Coach, what do you think of the crowd tonight, and whose decision was it to kind of go around and give them 5 on the way out?
This is Illinois basketball, isn't it? This is the best. I keep saying it's one of the reasons I wanted to be here. And sellout crowd for a team that keeps fighting and has been extremely resilient. It's nice to know we have the fans that are as caring and as passionate. I can't thank them enough, and I can't say enough about them. And the Orange Crush is awesome, and the arena was loud, and that's